Before sunrise, Richmond, Virginia looked like any other cold December morning. Quiet streets, bare branches, and a city slowly winding down the final days before winter officially arrived. But the moment residents stepped outside, they realized everything had transformed. Overnight, a soft blanket of 2 to 3 inches of fresh snow had draped itself across the city, turning Richmond into a shimmering white landscape. Lawns, cars, rooftops, even playgrounds were coated in the season's first snowfall, turning an ordinary weekday into something straight out of a holiday postcard. And for thousands of kids across the metro area, that meant one thing: school was canceled. Families bundled up and rushed outside. Laughter echoed across neighborhoods as children rolled their first snowmen, shaped snow bears, and dropped into the untouched powder to carve out snow angels. Even adults, who would normally hurry to work or class, paused to breathe in the moment. It was the kind of snowfall that pulled people outside instead of pushing them in. Yet beneath all the joy, this early storm carried a quiet reminder. Winter weather can be as unpredictable as it is beautiful. With temperatures hovering right above freezing, thin, icy patches lurked on sidewalks and roads. Though the snowfall wasn't heavy enough for plows, it was just enough to remind the region that winter had officially arrived, and that this was only the beginning. If this was the first snowfall, what would the rest of the season bring for the mid-Atlantic? Today, snow clouds even stretched as far as Texas. When dawn finally broke, Richmond felt unusually still. Streetlights flickered through a delicate haze, while the typical morning rush waited to begin. Then garage doors lifted, porch lights clicked on, and people stepped outside to find their world transformed. Lawns, cars, rooftops were coated in a smooth, untouched layer of 2 to 3 inches of powder. It wasn't a blizzard. It wasn't even a major storm, but for Richmond, where early December snow is never guaranteed, it felt like a small miracle. The snow had fallen softly and steadily through the night, coating the landscape while the city slept. Trees that had been bare hours earlier now sparkled with thin white outlines. Sidewalks glistened beneath the first light of morning. And when homeowners walked out to grab their paper or warm up their car, the crisp crunch of fresh snow beneath their boots became the first sound of a morning reborn. The air itself felt changed, sharper, brighter, alive. Snowflakes clung stubbornly to railings and mirrors, refusing to melt in the just above freezing air. The sky hovered in that uncertain gray winter knows so well, part snow, part flurry, part drizzle, leaving everyone wondering what might fall next. But the totals were perfect, just enough to thrill the neighborhood without shutting anything down. Weather stations reported that Richmond had landed right within the expected 1 to 3 inches, and since the snow collected mostly on grassy areas, the roads remained easily passable. For the kids, it was pure magic. Enough snow to play in, gentle enough to enjoy, early enough to feel like a surprise gift before the holidays. Within minutes, front doors swung open across the metro area. People didn't step outside just to check the weather. They stepped outside to feel it. Richmond hadn't simply received snow. It had received winter's first signal, a calm silver message that the season had arrived. As Richmond fully awoke, its neighborhoods came alive, but not with sirens or traffic, with laughter. Children, freed from the weight of a school day, ran into yards and parks still wearing pajamas under their winter coats. The first snowfall had turned the city into a playground no one wanted to miss. Parents stood on porches, coffee in hand, watching their kids sprint across the powder, leaving trails of tiny boot prints. Teenagers launched the first snowballs of the season. Dogs bounced through the snow, shaking flurries into the cold air. The whole morning felt lighter, brighter, almost nostalgic. On a small hill near downtown, 2 kids shaped snow into what they proudly called a snow bear. Lacking buttons or accessories, they used sticks for the eyes and nose, pine cones for ears, and even gave it a stick tail. It was imperfect, lopsided, and full of charm. When asked where the idea came from, the young girl simply grinned like she'd invented a new winter tradition. Her younger brother boasted that he had made something too, an AI piggy, which he promptly destroyed by body slamming it into the ground. His laugh as he showed its flattened remains was pure childhood chaos, the kind only a snow day can create. Even the reporter on scene couldn't resist. When the kids invited her to make a snow angel, she dropped straight into the powder, still holding her microphone, and waved her arms through the snow, carving out Richmond's first snow angel of the year live on television. Imperfect, crooked, and absolutely real. Even local businesses adapted. Some shops opened late, cafes filled with people warming up with coffee before stepping back outside. Employees strolled into work a little later, smiling, sharing photos of their kids' snow creatures. The snowfall had done something subtle but powerful. It synchronized the city. For one morning, Richmond wasn't rushing. It was breathing, watching, enjoying a moment that felt both nostalgic and new. As the morning continued, the snowfall created more than a pretty scene. It shifted the city's mood. Though barely 2 to 3 inches, it carried a sense of wonder far bigger than the measurement. The air felt softer, calmer, as if winter itself had gently placed a hand on Richmond and invited everyone to slow down. Neighborhoods that usually buzzed with morning activity held a rare stillness. Cars glided slowly, footsteps softened. The usual sounds, traffic, sirens, routine, faded beneath the blanket of snow. For many, the first snowfall triggered nostalgia. Parents watching their kids play remembered their own childhood snow days, building wobbly snowmen, falling into fresh powder to make angels, waking up thrilled to see school was canceled. That same magic had returned, now passed to a new generation. Teens snapped photos under softly falling flakes. Couples walked hand in hand through white-dusted parks. Neighbors chatted across driveways. Kids sculpted bears, pigs, angels, whatever their imagination allowed. Even winter skeptics found themselves appreciating the moment. This was the kind of snow that inspires holiday movies, decorates postcards, and reminds people why winter can be beautiful before it becomes harsh. Richmond looked like it had briefly stepped into another world, a softer one, where rooftops glowed, trees stood like frosted sculptures, and sidewalks shimmered silver. And through it all lingered winter's most universal promise. The first snow is a signal, a message that the season is shifting, that colder days are coming, that stronger storms may follow, that families will soon gather indoors. Winter had officially announced itself. This snowfall didn't challenge Richmond, it charmed it. It reminded the city of the simple joy of waking up to something unexpected, fleeting, and beautiful. The first snow doesn't just cover the ground, it awakens something inside people. And today, that feeling spread across Richmond as gently and quietly as the snowflakes themselves. By the time the sun rose higher and the last flurries melted into the gray December sky, Richmond was left with more than a fresh coat of snow. This first winter storm, light, calm, and unexpectedly beautiful, brought the community together the way only the season's first snowfall can. Kids playing in yards, families snapping photos, neighbors chatting over fences, and the soft crunch of snow underfoot created a moment the city will remember long after the snow disappears. It wasn't a major storm. It didn't shut down highways or overwhelm the city, but it did something just as meaningful. It gave Richmond a pause, a reminder of how powerful simple moments can be, a sign that winter is here and that the season still has stories to tell. If you enjoyed this coverage or if this snow day sparked memories of your own, be sure to like this video, share it, and subscribe for more stories about weather, community, and the moments that connect us. Now tell us in the comments, what's your favorite thing about the first snowfall of the season? And how does your town celebrate winter's first touch? Your story might inspire someone else to rediscover the magic of their own snow.